And then last but not least, this is absolutely insane that this is even a discussion here. So Michigan over under 10.5 wins. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football back at it again. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be updated on everything college football, pro football, Madden, EA college football, NFL draft, anything related to American football, hit that red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also hit the like button too, and follow on Twitter/X. Twitter fam/X fam is growing. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So last week, guys, it was my first of the series of What's Vegas Thinking, where we go through and see kind of what's going on, what's Vegas thinking, who's more likely to do here, who's going to do better, who's going to do worse, and things like that. I chose last week the college football futures, released it on Friday. However, last week, a week ago today, was the biggest news in college sports history when Oregon and Washington left for the Big Ten, and Arizona State, and Utah all left for the Big 12. So nobody saw that, but this video is going to be different here. We're going to talk about wins and losses for college football futures. We got 7 teams we're going to go through. We're going to go through Alabama, BYU, Colorado, Florida State, Georgia, LSU, and then Michigan. We're going to talk a little bit about the Pac-12 teams because I have, other than Colorado for this season, again, they're going to be Big 12 next season. I have my opinions there. We're going to get in those 7 teams right now and kind of go from there. So the first thing here I want to address is these 3. So we got Oregon, USC, and Washington. Now, they are very, very talented teams. The only issue I have, so Oregon over under 9.5, USC over under 10, meaning if you guess 10, it would be a push, and then Washington over under 9.5. The issue I have right there is the fact that all these teams play each other. It's going to be tough. And I know some might play, some might not, but I know that the Pac-12 is going to be a super, super competitive league. I can't believe I'm saying that as the conference is probably going to fall apart. But that's the situation here, which is why I'm staying far away from these teams. Just don't really trust it with my money. What I'm doing here, let's go through Alabama first. So right now we have Alabama 10.5 wins. And again, you see the fact that more than like it's favored for it to be under 10.5 wins, which means they're guessing they're going to go 10-2. You see that minus 170 versus the plus 140. We check out the schedule. We'll kind of see what they're saying here. All right, coming over here, so we have week 1, Middle Tennessee State, probably going to cover that game. And then let's go through the easy ones. At South Florida, probably a win. Then we have Ole Miss at home. I think they're probably going to cover there. At Mississippi State, at Texas A&M. Texas A&M, it's a weird place. They have troubles playing there. But then you have Arkansas, Tennessee at home, LSU at home, and then Auburn at Auburn and Chattanooga. So again, you see right here, we've got the easy win, easy win. So at least 3. And then you go through a couple of these. Their away games are going to be, what do we have? We have Kentucky, we have Auburn, we have Texas A&M, and then we have Mississippi State. But think about the hardest games: Texas, Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU, all at home. 10.5 was the bet. Under would be 10 wins. I would not be surprised if it hit the over there. That's where I would say to go. Remember, this is just advice. I would guess the over there on that one. Up next is good old BYU. Now, BYU, my friend and my roommate, he was like, BYU's going to go over, they're going to be 7-5 team. I'm like, their schedule's a little tough here. We see BYU, remember, first year in the Big 12, over under 5.5 wins. We see that actually the one that's favored here is the over 5.5 wins. So let's check and see what they have to look through. Because like we said, this is now a Power 5 league schedule. So we got 5.5 wins is what we're looking for. We have home against Sam Houston State, home against Southern Utah. Should be win-win. And then they start conference play. At Arkansas is going to be tough. At Kansas is no guarantee. Cincinnati and BYU are kind of in the same spot. Then it's at TCU, the defending number 2 team in the country. Texas Tech at home, which is going to be tough. At Texas will be really tough. At West Virginia, who is projected to finish last in the league. Iowa State's got a good defense. Oklahoma at home, and then at Oklahoma State. That is really, really tough. This is one of those schedules where you get off to a 2-0 start, and then you go, 2-8 down the stretch or something like that. This is a really, really tough schedule. Over, under 5.5, meaning 6-6 or 5-7 is a 50-50 shot, roughly. I'd go with 5-7. That's just me, though. All right, I know that I'm crazy here. I'm going over the Colorado Buffaloes, baby. So, Colorado Buffaloes, over, under 3.5 wins. The over is favored just a little bit more. Actually, the under is favored just a little bit more. And then the over is the unlikely one. So you see 3.5 wins. Dude, this is my one right here. If I had money, I'm putting it on Colorado. I'll show you why. So TCU does replace a lot. It is in Dallas. However, nobody knows what to expect from Colorado. They're going to be a crazy team to watch. So we have at Colorado, Nebraska at home, who also has a new coach too. We have Oregon or Colorado State. So again, if they get off to a 2-1 start, it's a wrap. You're good there. But then this is tough. At Oregon is tough. USC is at home is tough. At Arizona State, we'll see what's going on with that. At Stanford, there could be 2 wins right there. Then we have at UCLA, that's going to be tough. Oregon State at home is a 10-win team last season. Arizona's mightily improved. Washington State's good squad. And then at Colorado, they'd have to find a couple other wins there. But over under 3.5, I have no idea how, but I would bet on the over. 4 wins, 4-8. I absolutely think that would happen. This next one up is Florida State. And I don't like this one a lot because if you check the schedule out, basically you're going to know whether or not you're going to make money on this in September because over under 10, so if you win 10, you cover. Check this out right now. So regular season, you have LSU in Tampa for a neutral site game. And remember, they won that game last year because of the blocked extra point. And then we have Southern Miss, we have Boston College, Clemson at Clemson, going to be tough. And then Vatech at home, Syracuse at home, Duke at home, at Wake Forest, at Penn, at Pitt, Miami at home, North Alabama at home, and then at Florida. So you think about the couple games here. You never know with the rivalry games at the end of the season. You just don't know what's going to happen there. But then you have LSU neutral site and then at Clemson. Those two right there. And if they go to the conference championship and they win, it should be a situation where that should count too. My best guess, though, over under 10, meaning 9-3, you would lose money, or a 10 or you have to go 11-1. A push might be pretty easy. I'm staying away from that one. I'm not putting money on Florida State versus 10 wins. Next one here is Georgia, and Georgia is really interesting because I've already went over their schedule. Their schedule had Oklahoma on it, and then Oklahoma joined the SEC, and they dropped Oklahoma, so they had to replace it with somebody crappy. I know. Regular season wins. So if you think about this right now, so over under 11.5. So the favorite for this is the under 11.5 wins. It means that they think they're going to go 11-1. If we check out the schedule, I don't have any justification for this other than just championship hangover from two teams replacing a lot on offense and defense. That's the only justification I have. I'll show you why. So remember here, over under 11.5, meaning 12-0, and you win 11-1 and you don't. So if you think about it, you're just looking for a loss. UT Martin, Ball State, South Carolina. Now remember, South Carolina gave Tennessee a good game last year, but then UAB, at Auburn, Kentucky at home, at Vanderbilt, Florida in a neutral site, Missouri at home. I remember here, I told you 8 days. There's an 8-day period where they have a chance to lose. Ole Miss at home versus that high-octane offensive Ole Miss, and then at Tennessee. I think Georgia Tech, they should cover that one situation. But remember, all you need to do is lose one game, and then you'll be under that 11.5 number. That's where my money would be at. Remember, not yours, just mine. I'm just saying that right there. All right, the last two here we're going to go through. We have LSU first. So LSU, very surprised team this season. However, last year it didn't end the way that they wanted to. Lost to Georgia, lost to Texas A&M. They didn't end the way they wanted to. Beat Alabama at home. Over under 9.5 wins, meaning 9-3 or 10-2. You would be in a good spot if you bet on either of these. The favorite right now is over 9.5 wins, and we'll see why here on their schedule. So LSU is pretty interesting. Again, week 1, Florida State in Tampa, going to be interesting there. Then we have Grambling. Now remember, 9, so you can lose 2 games. So you see a couple of them. First of all, at Alabama, at Ole Miss, Florida State neutral site. If they go 1-2 in those games and they run the table the rest of the way, they should be fine. The offense is going to be really good. The defense should be improved. Still got some studs out there. But, man, what are you thinking? 9.5, 10-2 you'd cover? I might take it. And then last but not least, this is absolutely insane that this is even a discussion here. So Michigan, over under 10.5 wins. Now what's favored here is the over 10.5 wins, and I'm going to show you why this is an easy one. Lock it up, over 10.5 wins. It should be the pick here, and I'll show you why. Now some of you might come forward and say, well, Jim Harbaugh suspended for the first couple of games. East Carolina at home, UNLV at home, Bowling Green at home, Rutgers at home. They literally don't leave Ann Arbor until almost October. They go to Nebraska with a new head coach. Then they have Minnesota. Then they have Indiana at home, at Michigan State, which, again, that's just an interesting game. But realistically, I think they're going to sleepwalk to 9-0. But then you look at the end of the season here. You have at Penn State, going to be a really, really tough game. Good big noon kickoff. And then you have at Maryland, who's got an explosive offense. And then you have Ohio State at home. So 2 away games and then a home game. If they run the table and they go 2-1 down this stretch, that's over 10.5 wins. You'd cover in that instance. I think the easiest one out of all those is you see 10.5 wins for Michigan throughout the season. Remember, at the end of the season, though, you've got at Penn State, you've got at Maryland, and Ohio State at home. If they go 2-1 in that stretch, you're probably going to cover because the first 4 games are at home. Their first away game is at Nebraska with a new head coach. Remember, everybody came back. For some reason, everybody's all confused. They were 12-0 last season, and now everybody's thinking, it's 50-50 whether or not it's going to be 10.5 or not. I think Over 10.5 wins is a pretty easy lock for Michigan. That's my suggestion. Remember, you do what you want with your money, but I think that would be a safe bet in my opinion. And as always, everybody remember here, this is extremely important here. I am not giving betting, I'm telling you what to do. I'm just saying how I would do it. Anyway, this is not, you have to do this, you have to do that. That's all I'm saying here. I'm just saying, like, do what you want with your money, bet responsibly, don't do anything stupid. But beyond that, guys, get in the comments. Let me know what you think about my breakdown of all those things. That's where my money's at. That's what I'm thinking. What do you guys want to do? Get in the comments right now and let me know. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. So for me, guys, I'll see you guys later. I am out.